Hello and welcome to this week's Over Under show. I've got Lee Phelps, William Hill's in-play radio host, and Stuart from Talking Tipsters on the line. Normally we've got Jason Mills from BetAdvisor, but he's unable to be with us today. But Stuart has his tips on hand, so he's here in tips, but not in person. Guys, thanks for being here today.
Anytime.
Great stuff. Now, Stuart, I believe you've got the record from last week. Well, last week we had FA Cup matches. So the week before that, who's the winner?
Oh, you want to go from the top down? Okay, so well, I think we can just go. Well done, Lee. Excellent, very good. 3.32. That's a really good score. He's actually, having said that, he's actually gone down from the week before, where it's 3.37. So carries on like that, he'll be back to his normal one soon.
No jacket either.
No jacket. It's t-shirt.
I've gone without the jacket. It was like my strength. It was like my shield.
What's happened? How have you picked up your game, Lee? Because you went from being bottom with maybe 1 or 2 right to now leading for the second week. What have you done?
1 or 2 right. I had 5 every week. I was just really consistent, and then I just thought, well, this is getting to be a bit of a joke now. I better like really exert some authority. That I'm going to lay down 7s every week from now until the end of the season. I might even throw an 8 in this week.
Let's have a look. I'm seing 2 out of 10 down here, and also a 3 out of 10. So not 5s every week, mate. But you know.
I was relying on you not keeping those notes.
Right the way back from the start. I tell you. Right. Okay. Second place was Natalie. That was really good. 2.87.
I'll settle for second place. I'm happy with second. Who was third?
I was third. I got 2.62, which some weeks is actually a winning score. So, you know, I'm going to be happy with that.
You wore a suit the last time, didn't you? You were hoping that's what.
Hoping that would push me up a bit. Yeah. I got a better score. Actually, no, I got exactly the same score. So, you know, back to t-shirt this week. And then we had Jason, who actually got a profit as well. He got 6 out of 10 right. The rest of us got 7. But Jason ended up with a 0.22 worth of profit, which, you know, was still profit. You've got to be happy with that.
Well, that's great. So we were all in profit in the end of the day.
Yeah. Second week in a row as well.
We all made different types of profit.
Yeah.
All right. Well, fantastic. Let's see how we get on with this week. Saturday's matches are kicking off. We've got Swansea versus Everton. Over is 2.1 and the under is 1.7 there. So a little bit of difference. Lee, what are you going for here? Over or under 2.5 goals?
I think I'm going to go overs here. Not an easy one, but you know, I think you know, Everton are starting to score some goals. Their away record's been really poor. When you look back over the last 6 or 7 away games, barely scoring a goal. But that win at QPR, I know it was QPR, but I just think they're starting to find their feet. I mean, it's a little bit late, isn't it, Everton? But you know, they're in 12th position now. They lifted themselves away from any possible relegation danger. So I think there's a bit of confidence flowing through them. And Swansea, you know, to be fair, they rarely fail to score at home. Chelsea against Liverpool, they failed to score. I think they also failed to score against Southampton early in the season. So I think Swansea will score. I think Everton will score. If both teams are scoring, I think I'll go overs because I can see it being quite an open match here. Everton traditionally, by the way, have always been the team who've been able to break Swansea down the easiest. They always seem to find a way under Moyes. I think they'll do it again here. Maybe a 2-1 win to Everton here.
2-1 win to Everton. Interesting, actually. I think we were going for the Swans win, but Stuart, what are you going for? Over or under 2.5 goals?
I'm going to go the other way to Lee. I'm actually going to go for an under 2.5. Swansea, they still need 1 more win to equal their best ever season in the Prem. I'm not really sure that Everton can score. And if we look going over to the stats, then 56.25% of Swansea's home games finish under 2.5, and the same number, 56.25% of Everton's away games finish under 2.5. So I'm going for the under.
You're going for the under. What's Jason going for?
Jason's also going for the under. He's a stats man like me, so those things have worked out quite nicely.
All right, I'm with Lee on this one. Obviously, they drew the last head-to-head 0-0 at Everton, but I'm going with Swans to win, both teams to score, because I think Everton can get a goal in. They've scored in the last 5 matches, including to Southampton, so I'm going for the over, and that's got the longer odds, 2.1, under is 1.7. Next, we've got Southampton versus Hull City. Question is, can Hull score? Let's find out. Lee, what are you going for?
I think I have to go for unders here. I mean, you know, we've seen Southampton all season long, you know, manage to, you know, keep clean sheets and have one of the best defences in the Premier League. Hull don't have an awful lot, do they? I mean, really, in my mind, Hull need to go and try and win this game. They're on 28 points, 2 points above the relegation zone. Everyone else seems to be starting to find a little bit of form here and there, but I don't think that's how they'll set up. I think they'll go and try and get a point out of Southampton. So I wouldn't be surprised if this is either a 0-0 or a 1-0 to Saints. So under 2.5 for me here.
Under 2.5. Stuart, what are you going for?
Well, I'll take Leeds 1-0 for Saints because that's what I went with on Shows Your Tips. I went for a Southampton win with a clean sheet. And I think this is going to go under, so I'm going for under 2.5. 62.5% of Southampton's home games have finished under as well. And Hull have failed to score in 13 games this season. I reckon this could be another one. Yeah,
I totally agree. I think we're looking at clean sheet. Just Hull to both teams to score no is really low, 1.65. So the question is how many goals have Southampton got in them? And I think no more than 2. I'm going for the under. And that's low, 1.66 there. The over is priced 2.15. What's Jason Mills going for?
Yeah, Jason's going to make it a clean sweep of unders.
He's going for the unders. All right, clean sweep. Moving over to Sunderland versus Crystal Palace now. Big difference on the over and the total goals here. But which way are you going, Stuart?
Well, I think I said a Palace win for this one. It shows your tips. And although I think Sunderland are going to want to keep it tight, I think they're going to need to if they want to get anything out of it. Only one game out of the last 9 has gone over 2.5 goals for Sunderland, and despite the fact that Crystal Palace have been in quite a reasonable number of over 2.5 games, I'm going to err towards the home side's form and say under 2.5.
Under 2.5. Lee, what are you going for?
Yeah, I'm going against that. I think I agree with Sunderland would obviously want it to go that way, but I think they might get dragged into a game here, and if Crystal Palace go about this game the way they've been going about the rest of their games recently, then I think there will be goals. I mean, they scored 2 at Stoke, 3 at West Ham, 3 at Burnley, 1 at Leicester. I know they didn't score at Southampton, but that's no shame there. I think if Palace get an early goal, it will really open this game up. I know that's a big if, but I think that's the way Crystal Palace will approach this. That's the way they've been playing away from home. And Sunderland must win. I said about Hull. Well, Sunderland aren't too far away. 29 points. They need to win their home games. So they need goals to do that. I'm not sure they'll keep Crystal Palace out, so overs for me.
Overs, okay. Yeah, odds are neck and neck here on the winners' market. It's definitely going to be a tough one. Last meeting at Selhurst Park, Sunderland won 3-1. I think this is Palace's game, to be honest, to win. We did preview this, Stuart and I, on the Shows Your Tips. And I think we're seeing 1 or 2 goals, personally. I'm going for the under, and that's 1.57. So pretty low as a straight bet, really. The over is priced 2.35 there. So,
yeah, Jason's going for the under as well, so
okay.
3 out of 4 of us.
Oh, I forgot. Sorry, Jason.
It's not here to remind you. So.
Now, next we've got a very interesting match. I think Stuart and I almost fell out over this one. Tottenham versus Aston Villa. Yeah. Stuart. But anyway, we're on the overs and unders of this one.
Okay, that's fine. That's a lot easier.
So yeah, last 2 meetings have seen the over 2.5 goals. But Lee, where do you stand on this one?
Definite overs, without a doubt. Tim Sherwood keeps saying to us, doesn't he? Keeps telling us every single week that his Aston Villa team aren't made to defend. That little bit of a renaissance hasn't lasted, has it? 29 points again. If results go against them, they're in the bottom. They could be in the bottom 3. They need to get going here, and I think Tottenham will have a bit more about them than they did against Burnley. I watched your video actually, and when you were saying, Stuart, about how bad Tottenham were, it was just like, wow. They don't throw too many of that. I know they throw the odd one of those in, but they don't throw too many in succession. And you look at the home record, the home scoring record's brilliant in all competitions, isn't it? So I think Tottenham will go for it here. I think Aston Villa will have to go for it just to try and keep up with Tottenham. So I think this could be an over 3.5 in truth, but obviously we really need the over 2.5 for the purposes of this.
Yeah, I'm expecting plenty of goals though. Aston Villa, they come from that 3-3 draw. Time before that, they beat Leicester 4-3. Tottenham do let them slip, but they can score. I think we're going to see goals. But Stuart, what are you going for?
Well, I've actually been talking with an Aston Villa fan today, and he's certain Aston Villa's going to lose. So between us, we're both completely unhappy in the way it's going to go. I think this one's definitely going to go over. Neither side's particularly good at defending. The only really thing that's scaring me about Tottenham is they have not played well since the League Cup final. They didn't play brilliantly well then. They played okay, but not brilliantly. Certainly not enough to win the game. They haven't played well since then, and I think we're going to see another one where they just go through the motions. They'll let in a couple at the back. I'm sure they'll score, but I don't know. I'm not particularly hopeful of a win, I have to say.
So I'm very excited about this match, Stuart.
Oh, really?
What's Jason going for?
Well, I think Jason's equally excited. He's going for over 2.5 as well.
All right, I'm going for over 2.5 as well. Over 2.5 is 1.7 there, and the under is 2.1. And all these odds that I'm using here for the over-under show here is from Bet365. Next, we've got West Brom versus Leicester City. A little difference here on the over-under. Stuart, what are you going for? Over-under 2.5 goals.
I'm going to go for under. I reckon this is going to be a low-scoring West Brom win, probably a 1-0. Tight relegation 6-pointer. I reckon the nerves are just going to get to Leicester a little bit. They played attacking football all season. I think it's just going to be a squeaky bum time, and I reckon they're going to shut up shop, and it's going to come down to 1 goal. So under 2.5 for me, and Jason's going for the same.
Okay, 2 under 2.5 goals. Lee, over or under?
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Under. I think, just looking at what happened to West Brom last week, I think Tony Pulis will have had them training very hard all week, all the defensive lines, and making sure everything's back to how it was before. He kept 5 home clean sheets in his short reign before conceding 4 to QPR. So they'll be back on it this week, and I don't think Leicester will be able to break them down. I think when you look at the previous clean sheets, they came against Stoke, Southampton, against Hull, and against Sunderland, and all 4 of those teams have scored 15 goals or fewer away from home. Will Leicester fit into that? I think they've scored 14. So, yeah, a West Brom win, I agree with Stuart. West Brom 1 or maybe 2-0 win, but under 2.5.
Really, I'm going against you guys actually on this one. I'm going for the over 2.5 goals. Leicester managed 2 goals playing West Ham, 3 against Tottenham. West Brom haven't been scoring too much lately, but they do have the home advantage, and they are playing a team with the 2nd highest conceding record. So you may even see, you may even see just 3 goals from one team from West Brom. I think we're going to see goals in this match. I think you add those 2 stats together. Over is 2.07 and the under is 1.72 there. So you guys are with the bookies. I'm against.
Yeah. When was the last time West Brom scored 3 goals in a game? I can't remember. I can't remember. I seriously have to go back looking through the records for that because it's been a while, I think.
They're there. The next one is West Ham versus Stoke. Both teams are in bad form, so over or under, Stuart?
I've gone for an under on this one. I think this one's likely to end in a draw, and I think it could possibly be a 1-1 draw. If there is going to be a winner, I think Stoke are the most likely. So under 2.5 for me. All
right, what's Jason going for?
Jason completely disagrees with me. The kid. He's going for over 2.5. So I don't know what his reasoning is, but I'm sure he's got a good one.
Okay. Lee, over or under?
A bit of a quandary on this one, really, because I like the draw, but I like overs. I can't really see a 2-2 draw. But I think they might cancel each other out. But I mean, I'll go with the overs because I just think both these teams are going for that cherished 8th spot, aren't they, in the Premier League, which everyone wants, The Sky TV will have these big promos, 8th, the battle for 8th for this game. But I think it'll be quite open. I think Stoke like to play in quite a nice way now. West Ham, they need to get, 1 win in 10, I think it is, in all competitions. Really could do with getting back into it. And the Valencia is expected to play again, so maybe that'll give them a bit more of a boost. So I'll go for overs. By the way, last time West Brom scored 4 was at home to Burnley, 28th of September.
Cool.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a bad one.
That's in the Premier League, of course. In the FA Cup, they scored 4 against West Ham, didn't they? In February on Valentine's Day, I think it was.
Yeah, and you had the figure somewhere in my head. I was just
yeah.
Now
I was busy on Valentine's Day, so I don't know.
Last 2 meetings have gone over. They've seen a total of 4 goals there, so a lot does point to the over, although they are in bad form. I'm on the fence on this one, so I'm actually just going to follow the bookies under. I'm going to go for the under, and that's 1.7, and the over is 2.1 there. So It does point to the over though, but we'll see. Now, final match on Saturday is Burnley versus Arsenal. And Burnley score? How many goals have Arsenal got in them? That's the question. Lee, what are you going for?
I'm going to go for unders here. I see no way that Burnley win this game. I know they beat City, but I'd be amazed if they managed to beat Arsenal. Arsenal beat them in every single aspect. Maybe apart from kind of defensive stability and organisation, but I can't see them holding Arsenal out. Arsenal are on such a good run. The only problem for Arsenal is complacency, and they do throw in a terrible performance now and again. But even if that terrible performance is thrown in, I still think it would be unders on the goals. I'm going to go for a 2-0 Arsenal win. They'll break them down eventually and win the game, so under 2.5.
Yeah, because Arsenal do have a more leaky defence sort of on the road. They've conceded 20 compared to 12 at home. So I'm definitely looking at a sort of the Burnley clean sheet. It's just how many can Arsenal score. Stuart, what do you think?
Well, I think I've backed Arsenal quite heavily so far this week. I think this one's actually going to go over 2.5. I think once that first goal goes in, I think we could see Arsenal score a couple more. I reckon this could be a 3-0 win to Arsenal, so I'm going for over 2.5. Jason agrees with me as well, so this is one where we're singing from the same song sheet.
All right, well, I'm singing from the same song sheet too. I'm going for the over. That's 1.72, and the under is 2.07 there. I think 3-0 to Arsenal. It's my tip there. Sunday, we've got QPR versus Chelsea. Quite an interesting match. Lee, over under 2.5 goals.
Yeah, I've gone for over here. I just think that QPR have actually got a really good record against Chelsea. Look at the head-to-head stats, and they've kept clean sheets against them in recent times at home. I don't see that happening this time, though. Look at QPR's recent results. Ever since the new manager, Ramsey, took over, I think they've scored in every single game that he's been in charge of. And they've started scoring lots of goals recently. There's 7 in the last 2 games. They need to win the games. Put simple. It doesn't matter if they lose to Chelsea. As long as they go down fighting here and keep that momentum going. Momentum is everything for QPR now. If they can keep a good feeling about them going through this game, I think that'll propel them into maybe getting away from the bottom 3. So I think they'll have to go out there and try and score. I think Chelsea have got 2 goals in them. I think QPR have got 1, so overs.
Yeah, overs. Stuart, what are you going for? Are you going to go for the overs?
I'm going to go for the overs as well, but I think Chelsea have got 3 goals in them, not 2. I agree. QPR might get 1. They've been pretty good goal scoring recently. They have let a few in at the back though, and I think this is a Chelsea side that's going to score a few. Obviously, Diego Costa's going to go out. He's not going to play in this one, but that gives Loic Remy a chance to show what he can do.
Yeah, and what's Jason going for? Is he going for the overs as well?
Yeah, Jason's going for the overs as well, and of course we need to remember this is potentially the last derby, as in like the local derby, that Chelsea might have to face for a season, because unless Brentford go up, with QPR likely to go down, there's likely to be no local derbies for Chelsea next season.
Oh, it's always sad when a team leaves. Well, I'm going for the over, and I actually think I'm not sure if QPR's got a goal in them. Chelsea have got Chelsea have got an incredibly strong defence. And then also QPR have got the leakiest defence in the league, 58 total goals conceded, 22 of those at home I have here. And then couple that with Chelsea being the joint highest scoring team, 63. So I think Chelsea's got 3 goals in them. Not sure about QPR, but it's the overs for me, 1.72 there. Next we move on to the final match on Sunday, Manchester United versus Manchester City. Stuart, which way do you go?
Oh, in terms of a win or in terms of over-unders? What do you want from me? Because I know what you're going for. You're going for a Manchester United win, aren't you? I
am indeed. I'm bet battling this one with Lee, and I've got something else.
Okay. Well, I reckon this is going to be a game based on attacking play. I don't think either side's particularly strong defensively. So with that in mind, I'm going to go for the over 2.5 goals.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what did Jason go for?
Jason disagrees with me. He thinks it's going to be a bit tighter than that. He's going for under.
He's going for the under. Lee, which way do you go?
Yeah, I'm going to go for the overs. Over 2.5 landed in each of the last 6 head-to-heads at Old Trafford, and both teams to scores incidentally has landed in 5 of the last 6 as well. So yeah, I think overs. I agree with Stuart. I think there's too much attacking talent. There's too much at stake here. I think the way United play at home these days, they fly out the blocks so quickly. I think Man City will try and thwart them and try some pretty cynical tactics to try and slow the game down. But I think Manchester United are so full of confidence now.
Yeah.
I think they'll go for City. They'll love this opportunity to go for them and consolidate being above them in the table. So overs.
Yeah, I think it's time for Manchester United to win this one. Manchester City have run a string of them in a row here. I'm going for the over as well. Goals from both sides. The over 2.5 goals. And the over is 1.85. The under is 1.95 there. It's very nice odds as a bet on its own there. And next we move down to Monday now. Liverpool versus Newcastle. Interesting match. Goals or no goals? Lee, what are you going for?
Yeah, it's a tricky one, isn't it? I mean, Liverpool, of course, winning 1-0 at Blackburn in the week, missing Gerrard still, missing Skirtle at the back. I think the most important person missing, though, is Cisse for Newcastle, still banned. I don't think they'll score. And I think Liverpool will try and get back to basics a little bit from here on into the end of the season and just consolidate in that 5th spot. I wouldn't be surprised if they try not to get it finished, not to finish 5th. And give Tottenham that Europa League spot, or Southampton maybe. But I think they'll get the job done here. And I think they'll do it to 1 or 2-0 to Liverpool here. So unders.
Yeah, under. Stuart?
Well, I believe that Tottenham can't finish any lower than 7th at the moment, and I think 7th has a good chance of being a Europa League spot. So I think Liverpool will end up in the Europa League, whatever happens. I think this one's going to go over 2.5. I think Liverpool are going to look to make a bit of a statement against a pretty poor side. So I'm going for over 2.5 goals.
Can you see Newcastle scoring though?
Not really. I reckon this is going to be a 3-0 win to Liverpool, maybe even more.
Well, that was my question: is do Liverpool actually have 3 goals in them? They over the 2 legs playing Blackburn Rovers, they had 1 goal.
Mm-hmm.
And you think Liverpool can now score 3 goals against Newcastle?
Yeah, but that was in the cup where you've got something to play for. This is a Newcastle side that's really very poor. Their defence is pretty rubbish. They haven't got a lot up front, and you've got a Liverpool side that needs to make a bit of a statement to its fans. Results haven't gone exactly their way, and you look at the way things have gone contract-wise. Raheem Sterling's unhappy and probably won't sign a new contract unless things perk up. Jordan Henderson has only got 1 year left on his contract, and after that you've got Philippe Coutinho. If things don't get any better, then these players are likely to leave, and Gerrard's already pretty much left. So I think they're going to want to make a statement. I think they're going to want to score a few, and I think Rodgers will send them out there with that message.
All right, it was about time they whip it out of the bag. What's Jason going for?
Jason's going for over 2.5 as well.
He's going for the over. Okay, I'm with the under. I just don't think that Liverpool have 3 goals in them. They only scored 2 against Burnley, 1 against the Swans, 1 against Blackburn Rovers over 2 legs. So I'm going to go for the under 2.5 goals. 2.07 there. The over is 1.72. Guys with the bookies. Guys, thank you very much for joining us. Stuart, you're going to keep track of who's going to win. If we lead for the 3rd time in a row, I call it fluke or he's paying somebody.
Do I get to keep the trophy if I win it 3 times in a row? On the bounce.
You can keep the trophy.
It's a World Cup.
All right, guys. Well, listen, good luck with your tips, and I'll see you next week.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
See you later.